Do people ever like reach out to you like saying, oh, do you want to promote this product?
Yeah, promoting product, yes. And I'm so strict about that.
Yeah.
I don't just take
That's
any
good.
product. If you're paying them to be there, what does the agreement look like? And if it's like 1,000, you probably don't need to think about a contract there because no one's going to chase you for anything more.
How do you imagine that kind of looking like later?
I think activations are going to get bigger. Elo's activation at the Grand Prix was iconic. I was at a conference earlier this year with smaller CPG companies. The activations are important if it's working for you over and over again.
What worked with Lululemon.
Yeah.
But like, let's say you had to choose an influencer for them.
I mean, Lewis Hamilton
Yeah.
is a huge, huge deal.
Tell me a little bit about like, how did that play out? Because Lululemon is like a big company.
They always know that they can call me and want their team hydrated, or they have an event and they like WakeWater to pull up. But I don't know, from a community perspective for me, it's really the people who engage with you. They always have something nice to say.
So welcome, Monalisa.
Thank
so today
you.
we are going to be talking to Monalisa about her community marketing experience. And this is for everybody who's watching, who's marketing or who's a head of partnerships, influencer marketing managers, basically for everybody. So I'd love to first start off with your story in the community marketing space and how have you gotten into the space in the first place?
Totally. It's funny how it ended up being like this because it was never my intention, but it was very much something that I did because it made me really happy. So this is my first almost full year with WakeWater, doing community marketing. Before, I was kind of experimenting it, like just in the community, doing it for fun. The initial push was like bringing people together. That's what I've always kind of believed in. And I think that's what keeps pushing me every day to do it because I love bringing people together. And so I was doing a lot of promotion for WakeWater or other brands in fitness studios or fitness spaces, or even just creating my own spaces outside. Sometimes I didn't have access to the gym. I would just maybe do like bike rides in the community. Or like do some sort of like fitness program outside. So that's how I got involved. And with WakeWater, it was something I just really liked it. I genuinely really liked the fruit punch especially, and I always hyped it up, and they were always very supportive of what I was doing. So the partnership or even just working for them just made a lot of sense. And so when they invited me to interview and told me a little bit more about what I do for fun, is actually something that I can get paid like professionally. So I got into that, and then I was also just doing a lot of content on the side. It was something that I just like to do to kind of, it was a hobby at first, to be honest. And now that it's a job, it's like, it's funny. It's something that used to be very relaxing to me is now a headache, but in a very good way because it's obviously now like professional. So that's how I got involved.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, I mean, the wellness space, the fitness space, all of that right now is like trending. Everything right now, people are going to gyms. People love these like nut bars, smoothies, all these like healthy alternatives. I think that's been like a very famous thing that a lot of people have been really open to doing recently. But yeah, since you're a community marketing manager, for everybody who doesn't really know what that is, like explain, like what do you do? What's a day in the life for you?
Oh my gosh, it's everything. It's a lot of different things every day. Like obviously you have your admin days of just like a lot of emails, keeping up with a lot of emails. And by the way, just because I'm saying all this doesn't mean I'm very good at it. I think being a community manager also means just like adapting a lot and things change and acting on things very quickly. So you have your admin days, and then you have your content creation days of gathering content. And then it's funny, I used to just think, content was just like putting a bunch of videos together and like posting it up. But like there's briefs involved just so that the team is organized, the team is aligned. And I think that's something very important for CPG brands is like, although you can be very creative, there's also a guideline of what the brand wants and what we want to look like and be represented by. So there's a day where I really have to like dial in and do that. And then on the weekends, yes, this job is very much 24/7, but like I said, it already integrated into my lifestyle.
Yeah.
I'm very heavily involved in like the fitness community in Toronto and the running community.
I've noticed.
Yeah, and WakeWater even got me another job at Sweat. That's how I got the job actually at Sweat and Tonic, is through WakeWater, because I just did an event for them on the weekends just for fun, bringing the community to get together and also just keeping them hydrated. Again, something that I was just passionate for, and taking care of people is something that I'm passionate for. So that'll be the weekends where we're activating, doing events, either outdoors or indoors. Now that we have a bit of a bigger team, I don't always have to work on the weekends, but that's what pretty much a day in a life looks like. And I think a community marketing manager is somebody who has to be very involved in the community and like keeping up with the messages, keeping up with the friends. And I like to do it, keeping up face to face like this, like seeing people in the community. Yeah. And I think that's really important. And how you represent the company as well is very important, because when people see you, they see this other brand. So like everyone calls me the WakeWater fairy. They see me, they already know what's going down. I like pull out the electrolytes. So that's what it looks like.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Interesting. Okay, so in terms of like results, like how does results look like with community marketing? Like how do you guys measure, for example, you're hosting events all the time, I'm guessing, right? Yeah. Like running events and all these types of events with local communities. And how does results look like with that? How do you guys measure the results from what you get from it, basically?
Yeah, I feel like with this kind of stuff, it depends on what the brand wants. Like every brand works completely different. Personally, and like also just with work, we are looking for engagement because we have a really strong community. It might be small, but like it's super mighty. And like without this particular community, we wouldn't be who we are today. So that's where we want to dial in, is making sure that we're keeping our customers and audience engaged with us. So that's how we measure our KPIs. It's funny because, you know, like you obviously have your KPIs of like, this is how many followers you want at the end. But I don't know, from a community perspective, for me, it's really the people who engage with you. They always have something nice to say. They always remember who we are. Like, even if we didn't sell the product that day, when we start pushing things like being in a certain store, for example, I was about to spill some tea that I cannot spill. But next week, if we're in a certain store, when they see us, they really want to support us and be like, wow, well, I saw the WakeWater Fairy, or I saw a team member from WakeWater at these types of events, like giving out electrolytes and really taking care of the community. That's what they'll remember, and they'll obviously want to reach out and reach out for that electrolyte, or reach out for the case of cans when they see it in the grocery store, because it's something that they can relate to in a positive manner. So that's how we measure it. But again, it varies. It depends on what the company wants and what's important to them and what are their sales goals. So yeah.
Yeah, you've done this for a few years already, right? Like 6 years?
No, oh my gosh, this is my first professional year.
Yeah.
And then in terms of like content and bringing communities together, it was almost like by mistake. It just felt like I was helping my neighbors. Yeah. Because it would be somebody, literally, sometimes it can be my neighbor, just, hey, I'm putting a couple of people together, I'm testing out an app and I want to go on a run. Like, I love helping doing that on the weekends. It's funny, I made a joke that growing up, I thought that my life would look like, you know, taking care of my kids. Yeah. But instead right now, it just feels like I'm taking care of like the people I love, which is the community around me, because that's who's going to be there tomorrow. So again, it's fulfilling. It's a lot of work, but it's very fulfilling.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
So you're like the ambassador of WakeWater, I see.
Period.
The ambassador.
Period. Straight through, like ride or die. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So since you've been doing this for already a year, what type of brands have you worked with in the past? Because you're kind of like a freelancer, right?
Yeah, in between, So I do I forget that part of my life because, again, I do it for fun. But again, I build these connections when I talk about these brands. These are brands that I do face-to-face meetups. We've worked together and have such a good relationship for a long time. So Sweet Pete's right now is one of my favorite brands that I work with, because I think that they represent who I am as well. There's Sweet Pete's Bike Shop. I think it's just down on Bloor. And they're just like my neighborhood bike shop. And it sounds so basic, but like that's who got me into cycling, and those are the type of brands I want to start working with, is like cycling brand and bringing it just a little bit more representation. I've also worked with Hoka, again, relationships where it's like people I actually run with. Some of their managers that work there, or like their community managers that work there, are people I just know in the community. And I feel like these marketing managers, when I do end up meeting them, we really take care of each other. Like if they're gonna like, oh, Mona, I want you to try this shoe. I like love sending electrolytes and be like, hey, I know you're training as well. Like have some electrolytes. So again, these brands I have tight relationships with. I try not to work with people I might not know. Obviously I wanna help people and bring more representation, but I'm just such an intimate person when it comes to that, because I just believe if they have my back, I have their back. We make business a lot better.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you actually love what you're doing, you're gonna do it like 10 times better.
Exactly.
Yeah. Cool. I saw on your LinkedIn you worked with Lululemon, and then there was like there's a few other companies you worked with. There was like a wellness company. And yeah, tell me a little bit about like how did that play out? Because Lululemon is like a big company. I can imagine like if you host like events, I wonder how that would be. It'd probably be like chaotic, people everywhere.
But
tell me a little bit about that.
One person that really holds it down in terms of like activations is Lululemon. And they're a long time, it's almost like a family now. It's like a long time brand I've just worked with. And again, they're my friends as well, like marketing manager wise as well. And they're people I go to ask for advice of like how to go about these things, how to activate. They always know that they can call me and want their team hydrated, or they have an event and they like WakeWater to pull up. So literally kind of like, especially Toronto fitness marketing, CPG brands and brands like that, and fitness brands, we're really like, we're very tight, we're very close knit, and not saying like, oh, in a cliquey way, like we really take care of each other. So working with Lululemon, I was working with them through a run club, Me Versus Me, that I used to be with. And I got just connected with them and helping them activate some events or showing up to events that they needed coaching, because I also do coaching at the side. That's how I started working with Lululemon, and they're very nice, always invite me on like any brand trips that they think of, and I've had opportunity there and just get the business side of doing things like this, activations of doing this and why it's important, but also just getting it from a community perspective. That way, if I see things that need to be tweaked, like I bring them on my side and I'm like, okay, I know Lulu did this when they did an activation. Like, how did they do it? Obviously, they have a bigger team, but they're just like someone I can always go to ask for help in this type of industry. And then wellness, I've worked with so many. I mean, I worked at Riot Cycle Club, still work there. I don't care what they say, I still work there. I feel like I've just been in the fitness space for so long that I'm like, I don't even remember
there's
so many. And even now I'm just involved with so many that I'm like,
Yeah.
Someone will be like, oh yeah, like you're my coach at Sweat and Tonic. And I'll be like, I am. And I'll be like, oh yeah. On Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. Yeah. So yeah, that's how I get involved.
I have to join you.
Yeah, for sure. You should.
Yeah. For the event, Me Versus Me at Lululemon, walk me through step by step. Like, how did it look like from the beginning to the end? Because I can imagine you're probably setting it up and you're planning it, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Like, walk me through a little bit how that looked like for people who are watching this and people who are interested in like starting events. They're probably really interested to hear how successful one turns out.
Yeah, totally. Well, we have our head captain, Miguel. Mig started Me Versus Me about 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And he's almost just like the brand ambassador of it and basically the captain, but he basically brings people together. And I think that's why we ended up being friends originally is through bringing people together. It was just like everyone's obsession and people you hang around that are like that, you tend to attract more people like that. So he'll like maybe, and he's also a Lululemon ambassador. So there's also like that connection, but he'll, for example, wanted to put an event called Riot Relays that happens every June. I think it was the 3rd anniversary this year. And something like that would obviously take a lot of planning on his part. He's got to connect with all the brands. But once again, like under him, we've got captains as well. And the captains also have different connections or they also just have like time to commit to some of the things that might need time to plan. So then when he has the captains asking for like, you know, brand connections, I think that's when there's a lot of movement, because you can kind of see like what brands are willing to work with you, what brands are not. And obviously because Me Versus Me has such big exposure in Toronto in terms of a run club and also a brand, and also backed up by Lulu, I think resources are very important. So working with a company like Lululemon and pushing some of these things in the background, like obviously there's sometimes money involved, monetary donations, or there's also in-kind donations. So that happens. And then also selling tickets. So I think per team, it's about $600 to run. But again, with like 8 runners, maybe 6 to 8 runners. And so like people in the community again pitch in. And I guess the motivation with the community wanting to do this kind of stuff and push for this, because it's like, why would, you know, like you got to convince people to do the event, and it sells out every year. So the convincing part, I think, again, is bringing people together. And that's why I keep emphasizing the importance of having passion for this, because if you don't have the passion for it, people in this type of space and this type of business can see right through it, and they just won't be in touch. So just making sure that everybody is going to feel as comfortable and everybody is going to feel secure doing this type of race. The race is basically running Toronto from Toronto to Blue Mountain. I forgot to explain that part.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's the activation. That's a whole weekend. So he'll get people maybe to help out with the beginning, like the day one, and then brands might jump in and want to activate. Like we've had Red Bull before activate 2 years ago, and that was epic. And they had their ideas of maybe doing like a DJ in the middle of the race and activating for the runners going in, like going across. So it's like runners are running by themselves and meeting their team. They're taking off. It's a relay. And like Red Bull would like pull up at the side and just like have a DJ playing on the side of the road. And it was nice because then people obviously are going through something treacherous, but they've got this like fun activation where they can stop, like have a drink and then continue on. So they're, again, reaching out to brands. I making these ideas with them, and like you need a lot of time to like present it. So planning a year in advance is very, very important, especially if you want to activate. And if you want to activate anything, I think it's just so important that people start thinking a year in advance and start planning a year in advance. So again, with Riot Relays, we're probably going to start planning again, probably at the end of the summer. It just happened in June, but just putting things in place and making sure that vendors or brands can actually make the event and then selling out. So that's how it pretty much goes. And then at the end, once again, making sure that everybody feels comfortable, feels like they could take something back home. So at the end, a lot of vendors or brands donate product, some in-kind product, instead of doing monetary. And people feel like they've at least taken something home with them, and they get to try some of these brands and brands that they might not be used to. And that's how it pretty much works.
Wow. Yeah. So you yourself, have you promoted these like events before? Like, have you fully did the whole promotion and collected how many attendees? I heard that you were promoting some type of summer event. I don't know if it was last year in your LinkedIn, but you had some summer event where you're planning 100+ attendees. Tell me a little bit about like, how does the promotion work, like end from end? Like, do you guys do like organic marketing? Like, how does that work?
Definitely organic. Even my professional job right now, it's organic content. That's where I thrive in the best, to be honest. And what it takes is ideation. You have to ideate, look for inspiration, obviously not like copying other people. I think it's important to like gain inspiration, collect, not consume, if anything, if that makes sense. And then briefing what you want to do, like exactly how you want to outline it. Is it a small campaign or is it a big campaign? Just measuring off of that. And then what I would do, because I'm just, again, I'm more of like an intimate style kind of person. If I want to do 100+ people, I make it into a long campaign and base it around what I already do. It makes it a lot easier when you're somebody that's already in your niche. Because when you're in your niche, you're gonna pick up your phone 24/7 and record what you're doing. So for example, I like to do more fitness events in cycling, biking, and swimming. So I already have videos on that where I could just like pop it up once I have an idea and then produce. So like, for example, right now I'm working with Super Try and I'm helping them with promoting end to end how I'm preparing for the the triathlon on Sunday. I build out a campaign, ideate, know, okay, what do girls who are my age that look like me, how do they plan about their content when it comes to training for a triathlon, and gain inspiration from that. And then also just seeing what the trends are. Is there a certain font that's trending? They're just like these types of details. And then you organize yourself there in your ideation. And then the briefing part is just collecting all the data that you've kind of found. And obviously I think it's important to also take a break. Like I like maybe doing my ideation at the beginning of the week, take a break and then briefing it out, thinking, okay, this is how I can kind of put an idea together. And then filming it, or like either filming it or collecting your content. So like I said, the type of person that I record a lot of things when I'm doing something. I'll make a file in my phone and I'll put like triathlon training just for fun with my friends. Or if somebody maybe got a picture of like the whole group, I'll ask them to airdrop and I just have a file. So then when I'm down into my briefing, it's like all ready for me. I can kind of clearly see, okay, I have this content. Does it take a voiceover? Do I want to do a voiceover? What's the kind of the trend? And then doing the filming either, again, voiceover, either putting things together where I maybe see the pictures and maybe see the videos and come up together with an idea. For me, sometimes because I think I'm so intentional about my content, of course, I'm terrified of people judging me. Like that's one of the biggest things that I still struggle with today. But when I do it, I try to maybe produce one piece of content at a time. And then I'm already thinking of the second piece of content because trends change all the time. I think that's just after doing so much content for so many years, in terms of planning and building, it's okay to do it for a month, but I'm a big person about time management. Like you don't want to spend your time doing something that maybe won't produce what you're looking for. So I try to, like, I base it off of trends. I kind of brief, okay, these are the videos that I have. This is what trend I can maybe push for with my creativity. And then after I produce, I schedule. I don't trust Instagram scheduling, by the way, because of the amount of glitches it has. But I'll post or schedule it close to a date that's like today. For example, if I had a piece of content I finished yesterday, I schedule it for Saturday. And then I'm already thinking of the next content idea. Always. So then you're not running out so then you don't feel like you're running out. My number one rule personally, and maybe business-wise, don't post if you don't have the next idea yet. At least an idea. An idea. Because again, trends change, something comes up, like, I mean, the Netflix thing, right? That came up for businesses and that came up for also individual brands. You have to be able to like move accordingly, be like, okay, this trend came in. How can I adjust my next idea? So that's how I kind of do it. It takes a lot of planning.
I can imagine.
Yeah, it takes a lot of planning.
I can imagine a content creator doing all of that. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, okay, cool. So do you think influencers should also come to events and like is that also a successful strategy that a lot of people do when they like launch events?
Yeah, I think so. If you're serious about it.
Yeah.
If you're serious about it, you're gonna make a move.
Yeah.
But again, having a passion for your niche, I think is really important because you have to show up in these spaces authentically. And I think that's what's gotten me to where I am is I only went to events that I actually was like interested in. And sometimes it was to support a friend that might work at a certain brand. But also just look at the value of the activation as well. For example, Hoka did an activation with Sports Check. And I think that's a high value kind of event for any influencer to go to. You get to also meet other influencers. I think it's really important. I mean, we all post, like Toronto influencers, especially the 10,000 mark, I want to say, we kind of all know each other as friends and girls in our niche, and it is a community. And I think it's just important for us to all go. You get to connect at like a deeper level. Yeah, there's the pictures and stuff, but that comes with the job. I feel like people are always like, oh, how do I especially people who are starting, how do I like go to these events and still be authentic? I think it's still showing up, still being able to build connection, and it will come. And again, with these events, I think that it's really important for influencers to go, because you just never know who's there, the type of connections you'll make. Somebody might need, you know, help with something that you can share, and they'll be like, oh, let me just connect you with so-and-so. It's so important to do that face-to-face, I think.
Yeah, is it like group chats where everybody?
No group chats. It's mostly like an invite from a brand. They'll reach out through email, they'll reach out through DMs, or they'll just reach out like personally, like, oh, hey, like, ladies, I'm having this thing. I'm meeting you guys at Run Club. I want to talk to you about it. And then we'll be like, yeah, we're down. And then it's usually like a link that they'll send or a QR code, and we'll just sign up and go
Do you get
from there.
outreaches through like Instagram?
Yeah, I get outreaches through Instagram all the time, email, and yeah.
What about brand sponsorships? Do people ever like reach out to you like saying, oh, do you want to promote this product?
Yeah, promoting product, yes. And I'm so strict about that.
Yeah.
I don't just take any product. Yeah. Especially with the GLP stuff coming up. Like, I'm just very, like, who I think to myself, before these things, you know, are trendy, they sound amazing, the money sounds great, but like, who am I?
Yeah.
I think that's what...
You want to like yourself first before you just recommend it to everybody.
Who am I trying to promote? And I don't know, for me, what motivates me is like the little girls that look like me that they don't see in maybe this industry, or see people that look like them doing maybe what I do. I don't know, I wouldn't want them to follow those types of things. So I work mostly like maybe with shoe brands, and then again, like things I actually compete in. So more like sports and endurance brands reach out.
Yeah, like especially if brands reach out and they say, hey, try my product for a few months. If you like it, you could post it. If you don't, you don't have to post it. That's a good way to kind of like, you know, see like, if I actually like this, I'll post this. And if I actually like this, I could recommend this to my audience. It feels more authentic. It doesn't feel like, oh, I'm getting paid and then I'm just going to promote like whatever I'm being paid for, you know? So I see it there. What is, in terms of the difficulties and the challenges you've seen in like the event space and like, you know, coordinating it, planning it, all of that, like what are some main difficulties that a lot of people don't really notice, but you've seen it many times yourself?
Yeah, totally. I think with WakeWater, it's just it's a small scale, which is really nice. Obviously, we want to go bigger, and the bigger things go, obviously, there's a lot of stressful points. I think like balancing it all is probably the toughest part. Yeah. And I think a lot of people already, not just in this field, go through it. I think in general, reminding myself all the time that everybody has to balance, everybody's going through it as well. Maybe it just looks differently for everybody, but balancing the admin, is the content being posted, you know, being judged by your content, and like having to balance your emotions about it. Like,
the emotional part, I can imagine.
It's a lot. And then also trying to keep healthy, call your mom on a Friday, like, you know, have some time to yourself. I think it takes a lot of balance, but and reminding myself, first of all, everybody has to go through it. Second of all, it's not going away. Obviously every day I'm like, oh, I want to quit. But like every day I go to sleep and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so fulfilled. Doing what I'm doing. It's hard, but it's hard in a challenging way. Without it, I don't know if I would be the person I am today, who I'm very proud of. So I think the balancing is the hardest part for me, because obviously I want to do so many things and get involved in so many things, but sometimes I just get a phone call and the deal is just too good that I have to drop and like pivot. So that, and I don't really get weekends because with like work, I have to answer work's DMs, but it's just like part of the job. And I feel like my boss, who's been mentoring me really well, has really taught me that if this is what I want, this is what I want, and this is what it looks like. It just might not look like the fairy tale that we see on socials, but being able to separate that and just like getting real with it and getting into the grind. So
I do believe that like if everything was just easy in life, and if you just did everything that you liked and everything is easy, not challenging, you're not going to actually ever feel like really fulfilled because you won't understand, like, you won't have that feeling of achievement.
Exactly.
You won't understand the difference between, like, happiness and sadness. You need to have
1,000%.
Like,
Girl.
you need to have some,
you
like...
just nailed it. I tell myself that every day because I'm like, if I had it easy, I'd be dead inside.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need a little spice in my life.
Exactly. Because at the end of the day, even though it's, like, hard in the moment, after, you're like, oh, that was amazing. I actually like that.
Yeah, exactly. And you're so empowered. You're like, wow, I can't believe I did that. And like, it took time, like, especially doing it professionally, it took time. But like, I'm also so grateful that my boss has just given me the space and time to make mistakes. I think that was so important. And I was so scared of making mistakes. He knows this. I was so terrified of making mistakes. But like in this type of field, you have to be willing to, like, things are moving so quickly and you just have to like keep it moving and keep it pushing. And I think the more I do that every week, and sometimes I literally tell my best advice I tell myself when I get overwhelmed, because it's normal, it happens, is sometimes bring it down to minute by minute. Things might be so pressed, you're at an event, things are like, there's just like so much pressure, things might not be working the way you want it, content's not coming the way you briefed it. Take it minute by minute until you can do it hour by hour, until you can take it day by day, because one day you'll be able to do it week by week. And after week by week, you realize, oh my gosh, I'm complaining about today, look how far I've come.
Yeah.
And then you're just
you have to kind of like go inside the realization of today.
Yeah. Yeah, and just be grateful for the moment too. Like, trust me, even today, I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm going through so much, but I'm so grateful I get to connect with people today on a podcast on a Friday.
I know.
With my matcha after this. Amazing. Like, come on. Yeah.
I always have this mindset of just like, even though things don't go right or things don't go right as you want it, as long as you learn.
Exactly.
If you learn, and you're going to make mistakes, whether you do anything, whether you put your foot into anything new, you're going to have mistakes. Like, for everybody, literally. You don't, like, put your foot into something new and you're, like, amazing and perfect at everything at once. Everyone has to have their moment. They learn quickly, and then after that, you get better and better and better. Like, for example, for your first event, I can imagine it was probably stressful. And, like,
so stressful.
Yeah, but then after you got the hang of it, you learned, you kind of understood it, and then now you just, like, love doing it. And when you do it
exactly.
properly.
Exactly. And then just also giving it a chance, especially for people who just started. I feel like giving it a chance and take it month by month and be like, okay, I'm in a new month. I know how to do this better. And then even now, it's almost a year for me. Things obviously still stress me out, but I tell myself, what about a year? If I give it another year, like, what would things look like? I'll probably be way better at what I'm doing today. Things that I might have found stressful last month don't stress me out this month. I'm just a lot faster.
So it's gonna change.
And just being able to adapt, I think. So I totally agree with what you're saying.
Yeah, I have a really interesting question. So let's say if you were to work with a really big company, like an Amazon company, Fortune 500, huge company, how would you plan this like event for them, like step by step? Like, you know, for these huge companies, it's probably really different, right? Different sizes.
Totally different. I feel like I would oh my gosh. So I have like a template that I do at work that's been really helping me. It seems to be, what I've picked up is like, with these type of events, it seems to be the same pattern all the time. So this template that I have is someone will inquire, hey, I'd like to do this type of event. If it's Amazon, I'm going to start off with like who's going to be activating. You want to know on your team, like who's going to be there in charge. And then I would also have like content. Those are like my two top items, like who's going to take content, because those are the things you need to have it function. I just find out like, what are we activating? What are the needs? So for example, if it's, let's say Amazon and they're doing WakeWater cans, for example, they're doing a collab and Ninja, like Kitchen Ninja or something. Then I would want to find out how many people are coming. I think that's so important. And then I'm literally just like reading down the template that I have. I think it's the easiest way to do that, because then when these types of events come over and over, you want to kind of act, but you want to act professional and just have things organized for you and the next person, because it is hard to keep up. And then you want to know, okay, what are the tools that you need to actually activate? And then is there something that you want to bring in to spin, like if it's Ninja, Kitchen Ninja and WakeWater doing a collab together, is there something maybe we've seen on social media that we want to activate? Let's say it's a special mirror for everybody to take a picture in. Then that needs to be done, talking to the designers, how can we design this, and just making sure that everybody's aligned, like Kitchen Ninja, are you guys aligned with the way we want to present this as a brand, and just merging the two to make sure everybody agrees. And then if you're having influencers at the event, that's something to consider. Is anyone there who's asking for monetary for them to show up, or are they just willing to show up for fun? Then with the monetary stuff, you also have to make sure that the whitelist content, like you got to make sure that there's an agreement. If you're paying them to be there, what does the agreement look like? And protecting you as a company and protecting them, depending on how much money is involved. If it's like, obviously, like, let's be transparent, if it's like 1,000, you probably don't need to think about a contract there, because no one's going to chase you for anything more than that. And I'm talking from the brand and the influencer side. I've had it happen both ways. Then you want to make sure that the content that you're taking of people coming, are they comfortable with the content? So there's also that content side. So that's why it's important to have who's on content at the top. And then just making sure everything is planned. If there's any special details in terms of like the venue, is there a way that we need to make sure that this mirror comes in? And just planning the day, planning ahead of time. That's why I'm always saying, like, these types of activations with bigger brands, you want to try to push it a year before to just make sure things are aligned, because there's a whole back and forth with brand alignments. And if there's more brands involved, again, brand alignment has to make sure it matches on both ends. And then maybe like a month before, just making sure it's almost like a rehearsal, making sure everybody's on board, sending emails that need to be. This isn't a perfect world, by the way. This never happens. But in a perfect world, it's in a month in advance. Everybody's on board. Everybody knows where to show up, who's supposed to be there. And then everyone's briefed out, maybe having one more meeting and just staging who's involved in what. The cameramans obviously have their items together down to like, has everything been charged? The activation of like the XM materials needing to be there. Are they there on time? And then do we need ice? And just like the last minute details, maybe a week before. So then when it's launch day, everybody is ready to execute from start to finish, making sure the guests are feeling welcome and they have something to take home away. So it's a lot. I can't believe I even deal with that.
I can imagine.
Shout out to the community marketing managers out there.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think most big companies, do you think more of them should also do this? They should host more events? Because I know
definitely.
a lot of CPG D2C brands, they typically host events, but then there's also a lot of companies who are not really doing it that much.
Yeah.
Do you think they should do it more often? Do you think that, like, have you seen yourself like a really good result with like companies themselves? Like, have you seen, it's probably a good play for brand awareness, I can imagine, right?
Totally. Huge thing. I think it's a good idea. But then again, I think it goes back down to the goals, the company goals. Like everyone's completely different. Some brands, some CPG brands are thriving online with their digital ads, period.
Meta ads.
Yeah, with meta ads.
Yeah.
And like some people have just like really hacked it there, right? And then there's people who, with the activations, if you want it more community-based and that's what you're looking for and you're looking for more organic content, 1,000% this is a better idea.
Yeah.
But if that's not your brand goals, then I think you should stick to what you know. I think with brands too, I was at a conference earlier this year with smaller CPG companies and what they're doing in terms of content and activations. And the number one rule that everybody kind of came to a conclusion, especially with smaller medium brands that are going into that like successful rate, the activations are important if it's working for you over and over again. And you just have to have a method that you can kind of follow, especially even with the content. If you see things in your KPIs that keep showing up, we report bi-weekly. If it's something that keeps coming up, you need to repeat that because it's human pattern at the end of the day. People are gonna like start seeing, okay, let's say WakeWater. I would love to say other brands because obviously I like them. But WakeWater, if they keep coming up, for example, our meta ads have been really pushing. Our community has been saying, hey, I'm starting to see your ads, or Before I didn't see your ads, it was more on organic content and it used to come up once in a while. But now that we're pushing both with our organic and also just like meta ads, we're seeing a huge success, honestly, on like subscriptions. I think we're seeing a lot of a higher rate there because people now want to like get access to our product on a monthly basis. Yeah, that's where we can kind of lock them in.
Do they like buy a subscription and then they get it delivered every month? I'm guessing?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
cool. And
I
mean, Amazon is also doing it with all of the brands right now. Is like you don't want like, and that's the way that the world is kind of going. You now need to really look at the human pattern because, like we're saying, we're just as busy as everybody else. But I like to do the same thing all the time. I go to the same spin class every Friday. I like to teach the same classes at Sweat and Tonic on the weekdays. I do my, like weekly planning with my stuff on a pretty much a regular basis. So you now need to start looking at human patterns. Everyone's kind of falling into the, like, I don't need to worry about having Lysol delivered to my house bi-weekly. I know I need it bi-weekly. So I'm gonna do that. And if it's in my budget. So, and then also you need to look at your audience. Can your audience afford something like that? Or is this something, is it a brand that, they'll just pick up at Circle K? Yeah, so. Yeah.
I see. Do you think a lot of people are now, like WakeWater itself, do you think that local is popping right now? Or do you think online is trying to also pop a lot? Like which one would you say WakeWater is like, I guess, getting the fastest growth in terms of like sales or anything?
Oh, we're hitting all the grounds.
Everything?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
we are a mighty team. We're really pushing, and I'm honestly so like when I look at it in a year, I'm like I'm really proud of the team, how far we've come because like we're really dialed into our stats and we might run a very strict program, but like it's working if you really tackle both ends. And again, it's based on your goals. Like, what are your financial goals? And like, we have pretty big, like, not even just financial, but like engagement goals. We're very aggressive. And if you can hit on the ground and online, it will work better for you, especially CPG, because
you have like multiple ways.
Because then I'm assuming that only if the company can, right? You have to see where you're at. But I'm just seeing such a huge growth in our company and a continuous growth where we're seeing it online, higher subscriptions, and then we're seeing it on grounds like being in Circle K and selling out in Circle K. And then now we're in Walmart, but then we're also in these boutique gyms where every time I go to Sweat and Tonic, there's not a chance I'm walking in and I see a girl without a WakeWater. Like I see it all the time now. So hitting every angle, you're attacking it from both ends. I mean, people are on their phones all the time and on websites all the time. So that's a great place to like hit. But then also at these activations where, you can get the product in their hand for them to actually try. And then like, especially with CPG, like this is something that someone's always using every day. So it just takes that basically. Like, yeah, exactly.
Electrolytes also have been popping recently. Electrolytes, protein shakes. Everything that's like millennial and fitness, outdoors. Like, all that stuff has been like popping right now. Everything wellness supplements. It's been really, really good. Even myself, like I have tons of supplements that I use on a daily, like berberine and iron pills, things like that. Like these small things that like just help me give that like boost of energy. I need to use WakeWater too. Though.
You gotta get on that WakeWater. You gotta get that WakeWater.
I need to. How do you imagine things looking like, let's say 10 years, like a long-term goal from now? Like how do you imagine events, community marketing? How do you imagine that kind of looking like later?
Totally. I think activations are going to get bigger. A great example, oh my gosh, if I had all the money in the world, girl, would be the Aloe at
I've heard of
Aloe's
that.
activation at the Grand Prix was iconic. I mean, they brought the best of the best influencers that are already in drama. So obviously people are online extra at that time. It's Grand Prix. They're pushing the girly pops to look at like, oh, what's Alex Earl doing with Stassi? Why isn't Stassi friends with Kylie? So they got them hooked there. And then they're wearing Aloe for a straight week on this yacht with
I've
Aloe.
seen Kylie Jenner post about that.
Yeah.
I've seen that. That's a big thing. Yeah.
So it's like you're already hooking the human being to like engage with the content because they want to know the drama. But then you're seeing all these stars in aloe sets. So obviously,
and then you kind of
then you want it. Yeah, 1,000%. Like,
it's a whole strategy.
Exactly. And let's be real. Like, that's actually how it works. I know it just sounds very strange, but even I do the same thing. If Lululemon has a new set and I like the color and I see it on an influencer I like, I'm gonna go buy it. I'm gonna go buy it. So I think that's where things are gonna go, is like activations are just gonna keep growing and get more creative. People are gonna start thinking outside of the box and making the audience who come up to these events or these influencers make it memorable. I think trips are gonna keep coming up. Like, brand trips are gonna still be huge. Coachella is still gonna be bigger. That's never gonna go anywhere. And why I say that is, remember 2016 Coachella? We're in 2026 now.
Yeah.
And Coachella wasn't brand new then. It was already such a huge statement.
I've always wanted to go there. I remember.
Me too. Me too. And I always wait to see what are they wearing at Coachella, because that's going to be my summer. Those are going to be my summer outfits, kind of thing. So
it's kind of like a trend. Like, you see an influencer wearing it, and then it kind of becomes a trend.
Yeah.
Do you think a lot of companies, like bigger companies, do you think that they should sponsor like these celebrities like Kylie Jenner, Kim Kardashian?
Oh, it's worth it. It's worth it. It depends on, again, your big company budget. Like Aloe, of course, you're gonna be able to afford somebody like that. Lululemon, you're gonna be able to have budget for that. I think leaning into those big influencers, and sometimes I think brands should give it a go and just try, even if your budget doesn't say so, because sometimes you never know who is willing to represent your brand, really likes it genuinely, and shooting your shot with the budget, you just never know who's gonna help. Like, I mean, I feel like I'm like that, especially with the sports I like. And if I'm out there promoting things like sports that I enjoy and I do every day, that means nothing to me. And most of the time, it's never about the budget. It's about like how I'm helping either get the representation or how I'm helping this brand that I absolutely love get more visibility.
Exactly. It's like, it's all about the return on investment. Like,
exactly.
if you see a return on investment, Kylie Jenner, she's brought like millions of dollars.
Exactly. And things sell out.
Yeah.
Things sell out. Yeah.
Like, imagine like a launch of a company who's hosting some product launch, like a Christmas launch, for example. Kylie Jenner hypes it up monthly, weekly. She made videos about it. Like, imagine, it would probably sell out right away, right when Christmas happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know, like, you worked at Lululemon. They probably have like these massive budgets, worked with Lululemon.
Yeah.
But like, let's say you had to choose an influencer for them.
Yeah.
And to like help their stuff completely sell out.
Right.
What type of influencer do you think you choose on top of your mind? Yes. You, of course.
Me? No, but on a serious note, depending on what they want to do, I mean, they have really good influencers right now. I mean, Lewis Hamilton is a huge, huge deal.
Yeah.
That just like upped the brand even more, because of course he's like involved with like, it's like Lewis Hamilton for the guys, right? And seeing him wear Lulu and be in these Lululemon ads, they've got the guys in it, right? They're making him look cool in it. All the guys are gonna.
They need more men to buy it.
Exactly.
It's more like it's more seen as like woman.
Exactly.
Woman wearing, but
exactly.
Kind of expands for both genders.
I agree. Yeah. So but the next one I'd want them to work with would probably be.
I would probably have them work with like this one MadFit. She's like this huge influencer. I know she's like the top in YouTube in terms of like making these like workouts. If she were to like do a whole like collab, you know, show her stuff and start wearing it more often, I think that would be good. I think she might have her own brand, to be honest, but that would help a lot.
Yeah, that would help. And it reminded me of someone I was gonna say. Like someone who's maybe already wearing it but just doesn't promote it. Oh, you know, there's this girl named Holly B Fitness. I'm obsessed with her on YouTube.
I think I've heard of her, actually.
Yeah, on YouTube, and she's like a runner. I would want to see her do a collab with Lululemon, actually. I think she has her own fitness brand, but it would be nice if they had a collab.
Yeah.
That would be really cool, because she's a very Lulu girl. I see her as a Lulu girl.
Yeah.
I would want to see something with her happen. Yeah.
Yeah. Even if Kylie Jenner ended up doing it first before Aloe, that would have been good.
Yeah. It would have been good. Yeah. If her and Stassi didn't break up. Allegedly. I don't want to start any rumors.
Yeah. So yeah, thanks for having you on my podcast.
Oh, nice.
And
Absolutely.
it was amazing chatting, and we'll see you in the next one.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.